View the post on YouTube. Okay. All right, we got 10 people watching. Hey guys, give me just a sec. I'll be right over. All right. So, first off, I'm so sorry. If you guys are here, just say hello. Let me know where you hail from, where you are in the globe. I always like to know where you guys are watching from. How do I pull the chat up so I can see what you guys are saying? Let's see. There it is. Cool. It's been a while. It's been a long time since I've live streamed. First off, I'm sorry that I didn't put a video out this week. It's been my goal to be doing weekly videos, and I've been doing quite well with that. Is that? Unfortunately, I just got really busy this week. I also got sick, so I'm still recovering from being sick. Maybe it was COVID. No, I don't know what it was. But I was sick. That, you know, I didn't want to record a video sick, and I thought about it, and then, yeah, I didn't have enough time, so, yeah, enough excuses. I'm sorry there wasn't a video, and I'm really sorry that this live stream was, delayed. I was supposed to do it this morning. It was planned for this morning, and unfortunately it was, now it's, you know, almost, 12 hours from when I was supposed to do it, but I figured better late than never. I slept in this morning. That's what happened. I slept in this morning, and and I tried to do it a couple hours later after I had gotten up, but I had such an issue with the streaming software, and I've actually decided to go with, you can probably see the little watermark right here. That's Ecamm Live. I'm just testing that out, and if it's good, I'll probably just pay for the subscription and use it. But yeah, hopefully it works, and we don't have any issues today. I'm just reading these comments. Hey everybody. Hey, Kai Fong. Is Kai Carson, or are you somebody different? Kai. Hi Kai. Hi. I always like to read out your guys' names, but I can't even. I gotta skip some of you guys. I can't even pronounce them. Bottomless coffee. Is that the secret mixed voice beverage? Indeed, it is. It is bottomless coffee. Guess what it is? It's probably your favorite drink. We probably have that in common. It's some coffee. Ethan, yeah, I had to lick the spoon like that, of course. I didn't even realize that I licked the spoon suggestively. That's bad. What's up from California? Cool, I'm from California, but I might be moving soon. Spokane, Washington. So cool. Hey, Joshy. Greetings from the Philippines. Cool. Franz. That's how I'm going to say your name, because I'm going to assume the 4 is an A. Franz. Master Marco. Hi from Peru. Cool. What is PH? Is PH the Philippines? Every time I sing in my mixed voice, it gets overcompressed, and I think it gets inflamed fast, and then I can't do it for weeks. For weeks? You can't do it for weeks? That's not good. You got an issue there, for sure. That, you should recover. Oh, are you still singing after you do some damage? Because if you really rested for a couple of days, everything should clear up and you should be fine. USA, Indonesia. Hi, John. Hi from South Africa, Wonga. Hello. Coffee gives cord closure. Coffee is the miracle. I gave up at mixed voice at some point. Oh, don't give up. You can do it. You can do it. Is the bridge for chest voice to falsetto and the bridge for chest to head voice different? Well, okay, I don't want to get into this as a Q&A, guys. This is going to be a live stream lesson. So today I'm going to be having on, I did a lottery little thing, and I actually did randomize it. I was trying to think, I was like, how do I make this actually like a fair lottery? And I actually did. I used a random number generator, and I actually generated 10 different numbers. And then what I did is I used those 10 numbers, and then I drew a lottery from there, and whichever numbers were selected first, I used as a list, and then I went down the list and emailed. And the second person, it worked out, so that I contacted. So here we are. We're going to do the live stream. I'm going to email him right now. Let's see. And then he's going to hop on the call, and then we're going to do our live stream about mixed voice. And hopefully the idea is I'll explain some different things, in particular things that are relevant for this person to improve at mixed voice, and the idea will be that, some of that is going to be relevant for you guys watching, and you'll be able to improve your mixed voice as well. But today is not really going to be a Q&A, so I'm going to try to stay away from answering lengthy questions, as I am a windbag. So, let's see. My internet is very slow, probably because I'm live streaming. How's the quality, by the way, guys? Am I like super lagged? Is the sound good? Can you guys hear me loud enough? Is there anything I should adjust? Ooh. Let's send that to him and get this show on the road. Sam, yeah, the rest does include no talking. Don't talk if you're on rest. You have to actually rest. But if you actually hurt yourself, if you rest and you recover well, meaning that you're sleeping well, you're treating your body well, basically, like you've sustained an injury, then you'll heal, and you don't really need more. You don't need weeks. Weeks sounds like you've adjusted your technique, you've altered your technique, and now you've messed your coordination up from doing something, basically. But that, any 2 days of rest, you should be fine. And I would look to the technique, like what you're doing wrong, to kind of correct it. Cool, Joshie, I'm glad that my exercises helped. I heard coffee is not good for the vocal cords. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and click the Zoom and get started on the Zoom meeting and then add him in here. Alright. Okay, start that Zoom meeting. Hopefully it's not all lagged and terrible. The audio. Okay, let's see. Hopefully this works. Don't want any tech issues. Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, you hear me?
Yeah, I can. How do I say your name?
Use Gary in there. Gary is my real name.
Garyan or Gary?
Mo. M-O-E. You just call me Mo.
Oh, I'll just call you Mo. All right. Perfect. Okay, cool. So hold on. Give me a second. I got to add you into the stream and change some settings real quick. All right. If I... Let's change this real quick to... gallery. Perfect. And then let's change this. Uh-oh. Why isn't it working? All right, Zoom meeting. How about that? All right, it's not really, it doesn't seem to be working. Okay. Let's see, why is that? It's on the right thing. It should, maybe it's because I have my camera on and it can't be on. Hold on, give me a sec. What if I just switch this off here to this ugly camera and then come over here? Would it work? It just worked too when I was testing it. So I'm a little annoyed. This always happens to me. There we go. Okay. It does look kind of frozen though. All right. Is that frozen for you guys trying to watch this, or is it working? Can you guys see? It looks frozen to me when I'm looking at it. Screen is black. Yeah, Greg's infamous tech issues. Yeah, that's great. All right. Sorry, man. We just gotta wait. We resolve this. Where are you located?
New York City.
Oh, cool. You're on the. So what time is it for you? It's like 10:43. Yeah, you're dedicated. You're doing it late, unless you stay up late normally.
Not often you get contacted by the infamous breakthrough.
Here we go. You gotta seize the opportunity. Okay, so yeah, now it's not. Now it's showing something different. Hmm. Bugging, definitely frozen. It's frozen, glitched, frozen, frozen, frozen. That's what I like. Love to read that. Oh, amazing, amazing. Here, I thought it was gonna, it was gonna work. All right. Hmm. Hmm. What if I share my entire screen instead? And what if I did that? Can you guys still hear me? This looks like it should hypothetically work. Um, yeah, if I share the whole screen, but then I kind of zoom in. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, share the entire screen. Okay, they can hear me. All right, can you say some stuff, Mo?
Those my name from New York City, Manhattan, exactly.
Okay, do you guys hear? Um, do you guys hear Mo? Uh, that it looks like it's. It looks to me like it's super lagged. Like I'm lagged, and you're lagged. Like even when I look at it, when you're seeing me, am I like laggy? Because I'm seeing you, you're not that laggy. But I'm glitching, right? Hmm. Hmm. Let's try closing this app. I hope I don't have to cancel the live stream. I thought it was my other streaming software, OBS, was glitching, but this looks like it's. This looks like everything. It's all a problem. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's not. If I zoom in more, that'll probably look better. Can you guys? Okay, let's see if they said that they could hear him. You can only through. They can only hear you through my speakers. He's barely audible. Barely. Check your Zoom audio settings. I don't know. I thought it should just share the audio. So audio from the screen in the screen software. So I don't understand why. Include. Audio. His very frozen. His voice is really low. Yeah, it's picking up the echo from my speaker, right? And I'm lagged too, right? If worse comes to worse, you and I we'll reschedule this, and I'll just keep you in mind for the next one where I can get this kind of sorted out, and maybe I'll just do today as a mixed voice Q&A. This is salvage, but hopefully we can do this. No worries, man. Yeah, it says broadcast system audio when in screen sharing mode. Like that's set up. So I don't. The microphone and Skype audio will be muted in video playback with no picture in picture. What the heck does that mean? What is picture in picture? Am I the only one in the universe that is like tries to do tech shit and it's just terrible? This doesn't. All right, you guys still don't hear him? I don't know why. I just feel like it should just fix on its own. I feel. Oh Jesus! What if I go into Zoom settings? Maybe I can change it from the Zoom settings. If I go audio, it's outputting through the Scarlett. Ecamm Live app audio. All right, can you still hear me, Mo? Okay, I can't hear you anymore, so I wonder if they can hear you. Guys, can you hear Mo? This is gonna be funny. It'll be great. They'll hear you, but I won't hear you. I just am curious. Yeah, because I cannot hear Mo. So you guys tell me, do you hear Mo? No, can't hear him. No, they can't hear you. All right, so that didn't work. But let's go here. Damn, I really I thought it was gonna be different this time. I thought I wasn't gonna have any tech problems. All right, I'm gonna try to adjust the sound here, and then I don't have any other things to try after this. It says the output is on this, the Ecamm Live app audio. Oh, the input. That's a weird input. Why is it on that input? What if we put, that's my input. Let's put the output on. You guys still can't hear him, right? Just want to know as I'm adjusting these settings. Output is on. Oh. One of the commenters said that you look like you can belt a B flat 5, Mo. Is that true? Okay, this is. I'm gonna change this here. The output is on the Scarlett speakers. Alright, I have another idea. I'm going to end the Zoom call, Mo, and then I still can't hear you, by the way, but I'm going to end the call, and then I'm going to mess with the settings, and then I'm going to call you back and see if that works. Alright, I'll call you in a minute. And I got super laggy from doing that, so now let's go back here. And I'm curious too, after all that, yeah, look how the camera quality is just cleared back up. You guys can still hear me? Hear me, see me? Everything's good with my audio? Yeah, it's putting my output and my input are right on my system sound. Oh, it's showing built-in microphone instead of the Scarlett. Okay, how's that? Is my audio different? I'm coming out of here, right? Oh, they have a different option on here. It's called interview. It's called interview. They have their own special thing. Okay. I'm good now. All right, I'm good. All right. I got my final. I got an idea here. Most cameras don't allow multi-usage like that. Well, you know, I set the camera to not do multi-usage and it still did it. I'm wondering if I'm having an issue, if my computer has slowed down and my computer's just too slow at this point to do this kind of stuff. You know, maybe that's the problem. Maybe that is the problem. Maybe, ladies and gentlemen, maybe that's the problem. It's clearer, but a little bit quiet. Well, we'll try to fix that, won't we? I'll just turn the volume up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the radio show where we talk about mixed voice and how to find it. Yeah, I wasn't using the same camera. I put it on a different camera. Okay. But apparently this thingy, this program, Ecamm Live, has its own like software built into it where you can add people. So I don't have to use Zoom. So maybe it will work out. When the sins of my father way down in my soul, when the pain of my mother did not let me go, well, I know they can come far from the sky. Find the purest of Cains. And even though I know this fire brings me pain, even so, and just the same. Got a little saliva on the edge of my lip right there. Alright, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're trying to add him. Okay. Alright, that kind of glitched out. I don't know what's happening. Oh. Okay, Mo is joining. Guest is in green room. What? Oh, all right. I'm gonna switch to this camera for a second. Mo, can you hear me, Mo?
Yes, sir. You hear me?
Yes. Okay. I think they can see you and probably hear you guys. Can you see and hear Mo? Can y'all see and hear Mo? That's what I want to know. Oh, did it rhyme? Oh, look at that. Hey, that worked out. Okay, I added my camera. Now, for some reason, my other camera is not working at all. All right, let's go ahead and quit this and try to fix the camera. Perfect. Somebody said perfect. Yes, you can hear him now. Oh my God, it's a fucking miracle. All right, and then we add Mo and this oh, the camera does not want to work. All right. I guess we got to diminish the quality a little bit. Oh wait, no, there we go. Okay, I think it's working.
We good?
Yeah. Okay, they said you can definitely belt a B flat 5, Mo.
High expectations right there.
You see me, right? Okay, again, the camera's not working. Great. Yeah, you see me. Am I frozen?
Nah, you good on mine.
Oh, I see. It's using that camera. Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm frozen on your guys' screen, right? Because I'm frozen on my screen. So I think I gotta say goodbye to that. Oh, wait a minute. No, I have another alternate version. Okay. I forgot got multiple strategies in play. All right, I gotta plug this in. All right, plug that in, and let's see if it works. You and me together. You can still see me, same camera. That looks like it's working. All right, I think it's working. Can you guys see me unfrozen and Mo also unfrozen? Because if that's working, we're about to get started. Fucking 26 minutes into the stream, amazing. This is I'm not even breaking my record. I think I've gotten like an hour into a stream, still trying to figure out how to get the stream started. So 26 minutes, that's not too bad. Okay. All right, perfect. They said perfect. All right, looks like we're good. Sweet. Okay, so Mo sent me a clip beforehand of you singing into like up to around B flat 4. Just for a little context, it was the underneath the shine, darling, we're dancing all alone. Then was it? No, there's another part, isn't there?
Yeah, turn down the lights.
Turn
that was right.
down the lights and close the door. Ooh, ooh, I love that just what you need it. I think I went too high.
No, that's it. That was it.
Is that the right key? Okay, so it's right around there, around G's and B flats. And what I heard in that clip was, I heard that you already basically have the coordination to do the notes. Like there are things that you can physically make the sound. Is what I'm saying, right? Like you can reach the note, but it didn't sound controlled or particularly comfortable. I would suspect it's not super comfortable for you to be singing up there and sustaining that range, right?
Agreed.
Okay, can you go higher than that in some other kind of coordination, or is it like that's the top and you're about to break?
You mean in like a head voice or something like that?
No, like in the similar kind of way to the lower.
I've hit it in like exercises. I've hit the C5 a couple times in exercises.
Okay.
When I'm just going through like Oz or something like that, but never. I think when I start singing, I get back into like older tendencies that kind of build a lot of tension. So just trying to get it all to kind of click it.
Okay, cool. So let's try some stuff. You have to bear with me today because I'm still getting over being sick. It's been a long day, but I think I'll still be able to guide you through making some positive vocal changes and where you can try to coordinate your voice a bit better.
For sure.
So I think one of the main ideas is that mixed voices in a lot of levels is something that singing in general is coordination based. It's like there's things you can do like now to sing better and to improve things in the moment. And so I look at it like singing is more like golfing and weightlifting in the sense that you're not really like building your mixed voice. You're not like building muscles. You're not building voice muscles. You're figuring out how to use them in the right way. So in that sense, it's more coordination, right? Than like, I just got to hammer away at my voice till it gets stronger.
Yeah.
If you took that approach, like just trying to do it over and over again until it improved, I think you would get better, but you'd probably be getting better because you figured out the coordinations just from just doing it over and over again, rather than like, oh, look, my voice is stronger now.
Yeah.
So, okay. So let's try some stuff. First of all, can you just do let's find the key that you're in. Let me listen to that real quick. I just want to get them on the same page, people watching with the sounds that you're making.
For sure.
All right, hold on.
Like, you want me to sing it or you want to play it?
I want you to sing it because I'm afraid to try to play it. I don't think it'll work. So let me
start from the same spot.
I'm gonna get the key though for you.
All right.
Underneath the shine. Yeah. Yeah, so you started here.
Underneath the chandelier, we're dancing all alone. There's no reason to hide what we feeling inside right now. So baby, let's just turn down the lights, close the door. Oh, I love that dress, but you won't need it anymore. No, you won't need it no more. Let's just kiss till we're naked, baby. Versace on the floor.
Nice. I think that went even better than it did in the recording you sent me.
I was a little nervous, so I
Yeah.
was a little pitchy,
Yeah.
and I definitely did better than the recording. No comment. I'm gonna leave it at that before I talk
Yeah, I thought that was really good, man. I really enjoyed that. I think, yeah, I think that was better than the recording. Sometimes I think that nerves give us like a boost of energy that
Yeah,
helps to coordinate the voice. This is, by the way, this is a perfect example. You just got better in like at singing, and you didn't do anything except
yeah,
the context changed and it got
yeah.
better. Your voice was better coordinated. So I found that,
Mm.
you know, where I go and sing when I'm a little nervous and my voice just feels different. It works a little bit differently. And
Mhm.
sometimes it can be very positive where it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that high note was oddly easy,
Mhm.
in a way that it
Yeah.
isn't before.
So,
So,
question:
yeah.
when that happens,
Mm.
to like kind of like try to find that consistently,
Yeah.
do you focus on the way that you felt, or do you kind of like try to focus on like an emotion and like focus on like kind of having that emotion consistently?
It's a good question. I focus on trying to generate a similar energy from me. So I try to get, it's like getting your head in
Mhm.
the game. If you're going to go play a sport and you want to, the coach is always screaming at the players, like, get your head out of your ass and into the game. You gotta, why? Like, what is that about? It's about focusing and putting yourself like in the right, mindset for what you're about to do. The mindset is very, very big. So I try to put myself into the right place to sing. And so that
Yeah.
might be even doing a workout before I sing, like
Hmm.
working out, waking my body up, and then I feel like, oh, my body feels more awake. It feels like I can then do this physical task more
Yeah.
easily. It's like if you go to do something after a workout, you tend to have energy, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, that
Mhm.
gave me some energy, and I feel like pumped to do the rest of my day. It's probably why people like
Yeah.
going to the gym in the morning. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
I start my day and I'm ready. So I think there's an element of that. I just try to find something that will energize me
Mhm.
before singing. Then another thing I would do is like you kind of said, like emotionally.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I think that's really good. A lot of times I'll listen to some music before I sing, and I will
Mhm.
sing what I feel like singing. And I'll just kind
Mhm.
of lead with like, oh, I really feel like this song. Like I listen to a song, and then that song inspires me and motivates me to sing. And then I find that my
Mhm.
voice tends to work better that way.
Yeah.
you
Okay.
know so
So,
both I would chase after if you can. I think it depends on the person, you know what I mean, like what you're able to do. But I'm very receptive to like watching things and
mhm.
feeling it. So like if you watch me in the movies, I'm tearing up like my face is a reflection of whatever's going on screen. So
Uh,
that's just me, and I don't think everybody's the same way. So I think mileage may vary in terms of like I listen to songs and I find it very easy to just get into the zone of
mhm.
like, oh, I feel that song, and it makes me motivated to sing. I want to sing it, and then that
Yeah.
energy I find it coordinates my voice a bit better. So those are some of the things I
Mhm.
do. I'll like just try to get your body energized, make sure you have energy. Maybe it's like a
Yeah.
workout before singing, or um, or listen to some songs, singing. Like I like to listen to like upbeat music before. It's like whoa, like I love this. It
Yeah.
just motivates me, makes me want to dance. And then after that, then I feel like I have more energy, and then lo and behold, my singing voice is better.
Mhm.
So I would say you could try some different things out, in
Dope.
terms of
Gotcha. I
that.
appreciate that
Yeah, no worries.
for sure.
So let's try some technical things though. And see how it's
Yeah.
going. So are you able to do fry?
Uh,
Cool. Can you
mhm.
drag that higher? Into the high range.
Uh,
Yes, yes, you can. Okay, good. So, can you do that on an ooh? Ooh. Good. Can you now look for a tone to emerge out of the creak? So you're gonna kind of like think of a note. Let's just try it like here, and you're gonna take the creaking up to that note, and then you're gonna try to let the note come out of the creaking.
Okay.
Ooh, something like that.
I feel like that's a head voice though. Is that what you want?
It doesn't sound like it to me. Can you do it again? That one sounds more like head voice. Maybe I just didn't hear it well the first time. So what I want you to do is I want you to think of not getting creak and then and then sliding. I want you to get the creak up to the note. So you're coming right onto the note, not sliding up to it. Good. Can you try that? Keep it ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, not This is the same like the sliding thing.
Yeah.
So let's try this. Go a little heavier on your voice.
Okay.
And you're gonna make the creak even more gnarly and nasty. So like, it's more, thick. You're still dumb. Right on the note. It's better again. Okay, let's try this on ah. Okay, let me hear that one more time. So I want you to think that the note is like in the oven underneath the creak. Like the note, the da is already there. You're just uncovering it.
Oh, so you're creaking on the note.
Yes.
Okay.
Up there. Closer, but you have a hard time keeping that on. It's like it wants to go away when you go into the upper range. Your creak is like disappearing. Like keep it until the note comes out. Okay, that's a little better. So I'm liking your tone. That sounded pretty controlled. How did that feel?
Felt good.
All right, let's just try to recreate that one. Good. Try to. I think what you need is a little more energy. Here's what I want you to do. Can you push your hands into the solar plexus? So for me, here's my ribs. And it's going to be right here. Not the sternum and not even beneath the sternum. Exactly. A little below there. So if you shove the hands in here.
Okay.
And you blow a little S. You'll see it. You'll feel it push out. So I want you to kind of dig that right there. Keep your hands digged in like several inches into the stomach. Pushing in. And how hard that your upper abs push out is kind of like how we're going to gauge the level of energy that you're using.
Okay.
All right. So if it's pushing out gently, it's like hardly any energy. If it's pushing out a lot, it's more, right? And just to show, that would be like, let's do this. I feel way stronger of a push on that one. I think you need to give more of that before you even coordinate to the note. I think you're being too gentle, and then you're raising it with the because you're basically adding the energy too late.
Okay. So start off with the energy.
Yeah. So with the creaking, I want you to be digging in and just push it out as you're doing the creaking. Nice. How did that feel?
Yeah, I felt that too. Yeah, it felt way different.
Okay, cool. Let's try it again. Good. So think of, again, dragging the creak. We're going to think of starting low, like the notes underneath the chest. Starting nice and relaxed, and then dragging it to this note. And then letting the voice come out. How's that?
Felt good.
Okay, it sounds good. Let's try some different notes. I want you to think that you're going to push through the creak. All that energy that you need for the note, you're adding it before the note on the creak. You're like, the creak is setting you up for success. So whatever energy you feel that needs, you're already using it on the creak. In fact, you can overdo it on the creak. I really like that one. How's that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. It's too low for you. It's too easy. All right, in here. Very nice. Similar idea of you're almost starting with too much energy so that you're not at risk of using too little. Good. You went up. Here. Good. How's the comfort level there?
That's good.
All right. Good. So dig on that creak. Good. How's the comfort of that note?
That was good.
All right. Yeah, so I want you to make sure keep the creak more engaged as you go to the note. Don't relax it. Don't it feels kind of tense, right? Like something is strong in there. Keep that strength part of it. Dig in more for the note. Don't let go for the note. Don't be like letting go to get the note. Push harder on it. Add more energy. Where are we here? Yeah, here. I think that's a little more stable now.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
That felt good.
All right, let's try it again. And the creak has to be at the note. So you're not doing like going up.
Hit the note one more time.
Okay, let's try here. Let's try opening your mouth more. So you're at an let's go like open. Even on the creak, you're opening.
Hit the note one more time.
Okay, that's a bit better than the one before. Let's try even more open. You're here. Let's try really open. Okay, how's that feel? Is that uncomfortable?
It's not uncomfortable.
Okay.
It's not uncomfortable.
All right, then let's just work through it. It sounds like some miscoordination, but sometimes this is what happens, and you have to kind of like work through and find okay, I'm not quite doing it right, but you're in the ballpark, especially if you're not it's not hurting, it's not uncomfortable, it's not making you tired. Let's try it here. That's the dragging. Let's go back to the creak for a second. Just dragging the creak. Yeah, make sure you let yourself get to the note before you try to push on it harder. We're here. That's where, try to let it go light first. the sound underneath that creak because the energy is low, and you should still be digging in with your hands. It's low energy, so it's not going to be strong at all. Let yourself go to the note first, then try to find a little more fullness. And by go to the note, I mean underneath the creak. Don't do, I just mean feel that the note has risen to the pitch under the creak. And then try it again and add more and more weight. Okay, that's not bad. What do you call that kind of voice?
Well, it's not my head. It's not my head voice.
Okay, good. Some people might hear that and be a little confused. That sound, they might be like, "What is that?"
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not ringing in my head like a normal head voice or something like that.
And it's not light like it. It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, it's not light neither.
It's far more energy. Okay, all right. How is it different from the note like below it or two?
Well, the note below it, I could feel more heaviness in it. You know.
Yeah.
That last one that we just did, I couldn't really feel it anywhere, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't really feel it. It felt really easy up here.
Okay, so. Cool. So let's try it again, and let's just actually take a little momentary break before we get into it again, and just for a little talking. Why are we doing the creak? We're doing the creak, and I think it's very important to understand why you're doing what you're doing, so that it helps you understand what it is you're looking for and what to expect. What are the signs you're going in the right direction? We're looking to use the creak because the creak is providing us good vocal fold closure. It's like taking a big paintbrush and like painting with a giant paintbrush rather than a little tiny detailed one. So instead of going right for the note in a refined way, we could just right away. We're doing too much. We're like overdoing it, and we're overdoing it because that creak is giving us the benefit of very strong vocal fold closure. You might notice that it doesn't work well with breath, right? If you try to be like, that's not what goes along with, right? It's very counterintuitive to try to be breathy and creaky at the same time. They're kind of like opposites. So what happens is at the back of the vocal folds, it squeezes. So I don't know what you feel, but I kind of feels like it makes sense to me. If I go, it feels like something is clamping hard. And we try to keep that clamp as we add tone to the voice. Then we'll have good vocal fold closure. So we won't be like breathy. And this is one of the things I kind of hear with your voice is that you're not really finding good closure in the high part of the voice sometimes. So I think you're working way too hard because you're having to push like extra air. And this can lead to hoarseness and fatigue, getting tired, because when you're trying to be loud and you're trying to be strong, your voice is not meant to have air in it. Air is supposed to be like you're singing soft, 6 o'clock in the morning, wipe the sleep from my eyes. You could put some air. You don't try to be loud. 6 o'clock in the morning and air. 6 o'clock in the morning. It just sounds counterintuitive and wrong, and it is. Yeah. And you don't do that in the low range, but you do that in the high range, and I think it starts to go in that direction.
Okay.
And I think that's where you need to look for, how do I do something that's going to add more closure, and then how do I work from there, basically. So that's why we're doing it.
Dope.
So let's do try it again. Let's do the light way. Nice. And does that feel like head or not head?
Nah.
Okay.
Like it.
Very nice. Let's try that here.
That was head voice.
Okay. So I think you're letting go too much of the creak. We can always do the creak very falsetto-y, like try falsetto. Nice. And so what you call head voice, I just call falsetto.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool.
So falsetto, and then add some creak. Just try to dirty it up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. This is a long. That also kind of sounds like a double tone in your voice, like you're getting two pitches, almost like a husky. Who does that? Layla Hathaway,
Mm-hmm.
Donny Hathaway's daughter. You know who I'm talking about? She
Yeah,
gives
she's
us
dope.
like two tones.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it almost sounded like that happened. That was pretty cool. I would just want to play with that too and have fun with that. Okay, but that's kind of what you're doing at the upper range. So I think you need to add even more energy and dig more into your voice. And this is how it starts in a lot of ways for a lot of people, because what we want is we can think of like the vocal folds are doing this when we're in chest, right? They're vibrating more like this, like the whole body of the vocal fold is coming into contact. Like if here's the vocal fold, it's got a layers to it. And if this meaty, muscly part of the vocal fold is active in the vibration, we hear and when that muscly layer turns off, now it's falsetto. You can hear the break on the same note. The reconnection of turning back on. And you have to, in the high part, I think, and even just in general, for some people it won't even be as it'll be much lower than it is for you right now currently, because of their level and just what they're struggling with. You have to overdo it. You have to do too much. You have to give so much energy, and then as you keep doing that more and more and more, you're going to find that it takes less energy to do the same thing. You're going to get more efficient at it. But it's like you have to work way harder than normal just to start to get it going, just to keep this part on. And so right now, I think what's going on in that C is you've slipped into basically falsetto. And whereas before we had this going on, it was more is M1 basically. M1 is just saying the vocal folds are vibrating like this. M2 is saying they're vibrating like this.
Yeah.
And I call this falsetto basically. And I don't use the word head voice.
Yeah.
For me. So you need to dig in harder basically. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so let's try that. Get to the note first with light energy. I'm thinking that note. And then try to dig in harder. Yeah, is that feeling like it's just flipping and letting go?
Yeah.
So let's try to change the vowel. So instead of let's try and like a yell, like you're calling out the whole thing on the A. Okay, that sounded like it might not have been falsetto.
Yeah, I can feel it like getting there.
Good, good. Try to dig more on the creak. Don't let the tone come out so low. Use the creak. It's like you're squeezing extra hard, extra strong closure, and you're pushing against that. For the note. Yeah, it's close. It's almost there. Let's try.
I know.
You can feel it. Okay, it's not. I don't want you to do I want you to do more so the tongue will be lower.
Okay.
So it's sounding a little like and I would like more a little darker, a little more space in your mouth.
Let me get the creak in there.
So close.
I'm so close. I can feel it.
Okay.
Feel it.
Tell me a little bit about what you're feeling and if it's normal, if you felt that before, if it's kind of new. What are you feeling?
I've never felt it before. I can feel like a shift almost like up in here kind of in terms of the vibration.
Nice.
It's feeling way easier than it's ever felt.
Okay, awesome. So you're feeling the voice shift, but it feels more weighted than head voice.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
very, very cool. So it's you want to feel new things that you've never felt before. Trust your
Mhm.
feelings. Go in that direction. This seems like it's going to be a very positive tool for you to
Yeah.
use to try to develop it. So we got to go extra strong, extra heavy to try to get it to happen. I mean, that was really how I developed my voice. If I had been like,
Mhm.
oh, let me just go light, it would have never came out. I don't believe in this like light and right stuff. I
Yeah.
believe the opposite. You got to go. It's much better to go too far, go too heavy, and learn to coordinate that mess because it's like very messy. It's all over the place. It's miscoordinated. But within that
Mhm.
mess, it's like you've got like a something really good there. Like okay,
Mhm.
don't throw the baby out with the bathwater type of
With
thing,
the
right?
bathwater.
Like in that bathwater, the baby's
Yeah.
in there, and so you're purposefully creating the scenario where you have a mix of good and bad with what's going
Yeah.
on with your voice with the sound. And if people were to hear that, like your neighbors, they'll be like, oh my god, dude, that's terrible, stop. And even some people listening to it are going to be like, that doesn't sound good, doesn't sound healthy. But trust your body, trust what you feel. If it made you hoarse, if it didn't make you hoarse, you can tell, oh, it's new, great.
Mhm.
Keep going in that direction. I think it's going to be very good for you. Let's try some other stuff. So let's try some leaps out of the creaking. Let's just kind of stay on the creaking path for a little bit. So can you do for a second?
Mm.
Good. And then what I want you to do is I want you to try go like that.
Mm. Ah.
Good. So I want you to sort of leap and every time you're returning to that relaxed
Mm. Ah.
Good. Good. That's good. Let's go higher.
Mm. Ah.
I think you're doing well, but I'd like you not to do. I'd like you to be doing instead of
Mm. Ah. Ah.
Good, good. Let's continue with this. So why are we doing this? Again, the creek is our friend in the sense that it is you're returning to a place where you're relaxing. So it's nice and relaxed. So if you kind of messed up and you start getting stressed out by the high range, you just went right back and you get to relax again. So I think it's nice. It's kind of like psychologically relaxing, and it's less risky and less scary. And that's why I don't want you going and then getting like worked up into trying to really make the note. And then the creak at the bottom gives us that nice closure. And we're basically trying to take some of that with us when we go up. As opposed to and it's like gone. All right. So where were we? Here. Good. And I want you to try to do it wrong. Where you let more air out. You let go of the entirely as you ascend. Yeah, great. Great. And then keep some of it on now, like the right way. Good. Good. And think that you can pick the amount that you're going to use, how much you're going to carry with you. If you carry with you very little, it's going to be pretty light and thin. If you carry a little more, it's going to be a little fuller. So play with that. Try to keep it on, but then play with how much of it how much of that feeling you're keeping with you. No. Relax. Good. So let's try. Good. Now try to add that feeling while you're keeping the energy and the pressure the same. So let's go back to checking in with the solar plexus. And so the whole time I'm going to keep it strong. I'm not going to go How do I show that better? It's like still moving out, and I'm trying to keep the same amount of energy the whole time, the same amount of breath pressure. I'm just squeezing here. Think about this. Try to be as loud, be as full. Don't back off.
The whole time.
Yeah, the whole time. It's like you have a sound and you're shutting the gates here.
Okay. Okay.
Not not this fade. There you go. Start with sound. Start with sound. Good. Good. And when you do it, try to coordinate out of that creak with some more of it on. Like the creak is closure. Keep some closure with you. So it'll change the tone. There you go. Yes. Do you feel anything different?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're here. Let's try here. Good, good. Like you're using the creak to try to hold it so that the closure is good and you don't go breathy. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Like you want to dig into the creak. And I want you to notice where you feel like, oh, I get loss of closure here. Like at this note now, suddenly my voice is like leaking air and I feel that squeeze of isn't quite so strong because we want that to stay strong. If you have a moment where it's like and it's like I can't even squeeze it. I can't even get the tension there. This is a little bit of what I hear in your voice, where as you go higher, you struggle to maintain the closure, and I think you need to work extra hard, basically, to solve that. So don't drop the pitch of the creak. Got to keep the energy very strong here. So keep that pushing out, the solar plexus pushing out quite firmly. And we start with a clean tone. Good. How's that? Do you feel like you're pushing off of the creak?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep in your mind the intention to keep singing. Your intention isn't to lower pitch. It shouldn't be like that. It should be like you're still just trying to do that note. It's different. It's more energy. It's like higher. It sounds different, right? And then I'm digging from there. So I'm not digging upwards. I'm like already at the pitch. That's a bit better. How's that feeling? We want to We want to create this sense of solidity, that you have something to grab hold of, to coordinate your voice, something to dig in on. Good. How'd that feel?
Felt good.
All right. Sounds thinner than the starting point, but does it feel more like, I don't know, tight or more solid or anything to you? Does it?
If I can hear from when I first started to now, I can hear, because at first when you was mentioning the breathiness, I couldn't really hear it.
Okay.
And now I can kind of hear, comparing it to how I sounded at first, I can kind of hear what you meant at first, so I can kind of tell the difference there.
Okay, so. Right on. Good. And you being aware of the things is like so crucial, because then when you're practicing, you'll be like, oh, there it is again, and you'll try to fix it, and you'll try different things out. That's, I think, what's really important for learning singers, is that they identify what it is like that is their problem, you know, that they have to try to work at. All right, try it again. I still hear a little bit of like almost this huskiness, but I like it in your voice. I think it sounds really good. I think it's a very nice tone. Um, so it sounds like your vocal folds you're really trying to close them and keep tension in there, but there's a little bit more looseness to it, a little bit like, and I always associate that with huskiness, and I don't mean that pejoratively. I really like that tone. It's something that I appreciate about people because I have suck at that. That's not, what I'm good at and what comes intuitively to me. But somebody that I think does that is like Bruno Mars, and he's great. I love Bruno Mars. I think that's one of the things I appreciate about his tone so much is that it has this like husky, like sexiness to it. You know what I mean? So I really like that about his tone. I hear a bit of that in you. So that was here. Let's try here. Yeah, I mean, I think that sounds way easier than in the first video, especially that you showed me. Like before, you were getting up to that note, but it was like more pushed, and I could hear that breath. And here, it's like sounding way more solid and way more together. I mean, this is what I'm getting the impression that your voice is like controlled.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try here. Yeah, how's that feeling?
Feeling good. It's a lot of work down here.
Good.
But, it's feeling all right.
All right, and the work will decrease with time, I think. As long as as long as you don't feel like it's hurting or it's making you hoarse or anything like that, then you're fine. Yeah, you have to overdo it. It takes a lot of work, and then that becomes less with time.
Yeah.
Also, go to the gym. All right. Let's try it here.
One more time.
Good. That's a progress from the last time we were at this note. That sounds more solid and less like a creaky mess. Because the last time, and even the one before, actually, the B flat, because that's B flat, now we're at B. Do you keep track of the notes that yeah, you do, right? Because you said that C5 was something that you typically where you cap. Yeah, but you've done it in exercise and stuff. That B is sounding much more coordinated to my ears than it was earlier. All right, let's try it again. Yeah, try to hold the top note a little more. Yeah, you're a little flat. All the way there. Yeah, that's better. There we go.
yo, this is wild. Hit it one more time. I'm flat.
Yep.
I'm tired. Let's go for it. Hit it one more time for me.
Yeah. Yeah, man. There we go. C5, baby. And you know what? One of the ones in there was like the second one was really nice.
I know that second one felt the best at all.
Excellent, man. Really, really good. Really, really good. So singing is coordination based, more like golfing, less like weightlifting. When you do the right things, you'll feel that the voice will change very quickly in half an hour or so? Yeah. And it's starting to feel different, work differently. You're getting a different outcome. This is what you should expect basically with training, with vocal training. You should see pretty quick shifts and changes in what you're doing. So you just have to work on finding this by yourself now. That's the hard part, right? If everybody had a coach every single day and the coach was good, then they would make progress quickly. And professional singers do that. Like what Shawn Mendes, what did he say? He said he had like a vocal coach. I don't know if he still does, but every day. A voice lesson every day in the morning, and they would warm him up. It's like, when you have somebody there guiding you, helping you. I love it when somebody does that for me. It's like, oh, I hear this in your voice. Like, do this instead, or guiding you through exercise. It's hard to do on your own. It's hard to search for it,
Yeah.
And so, but you got to search for that experience that you found today of starting there. Don't expect it to just be back tomorrow. You're gonna have to hunt for it and really like look around. And it's gonna be messy. Again, there's gonna be less baby, more bathwater.
Man. That's the hardest I've worked in a long time. Like that felt like a gym workout in my core. Like that was wild.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard at first, and trust me, it's not. It doesn't feel that hard anymore, and
Mhm.
your level will go up. So you'll get even chestier and even more powerful. Like if you start setting your sights on belting, it will take an extremely more work. But the easy stuff will get easier, and then your bar for like what you're able to do and what really costs energy will keep going up. But I do think
Mhm.
in a large way it's a fitness thing. You know, you're asking your
Mhm.
body generate high breath pressure. That's exactly what you do when you go to the gym and you go to like lift. What do you
Yeah.
do? What is that? That's you
Yeah.
trying to be strong,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
that takes energy. So you're literally doing things that
Yeah.
take a lot of energy. So
Yeah.
I think it's good. Paint with a broad brush. Go overboard. Do too much. Use a lot of energy. All right.
Mhm.
so so let's do. Let's go to the song.
Mhm.
All right. So where were we? Um, Underneath the chandelier, we're dancing all alone. Right?
Mhm.
Okay. So let's give it a shot. And what I just want you to think about is I want you to think about using that feeling that you've been finding of digging in with a little bit of creak on those
Mhm.
parts instead of like just letting it be loose, blowing the air at it. Use a little bit of the creak to maintain a bit more vocal fold tension.
Mhm.
Ah, underneath the chandelier. So put it where it's not supposed to be, right? Because
Mhm.
chandelier doesn't have any, but just go too much, especially when you feel like you lost control of your voice. That's a
Mhm.
good place where it's like, let me try to work in some creak there, even though it doesn't quite fit. Because we're really trying to go from what we're applying in an exercise to the
Yeah.
song, even though it's not maybe not going to be perfect right away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Underneath the chandelier, we're dancing all alone. There's no reason to hide what we feeling inside. What we feeling inside right now. So baby, let's just turn down the lights, close the door. Oh, I love that dress, but you won't need it anymore. No, you won't need it no more. Let's just kiss till we're naked, baby. Versace on the floor.
Good. Good. Really good job. Just one flat note that we're gonna pick that phrase apart right there and try to
That's good.
and this is exactly what you should do. Try
Yeah.
something new. Try to get your voice to work to coordinate with the new like exercise with the new way of thinking. And
Mhm.
then what you're gonna do is you're gonna try to plug that in, right? You
Mhm.
found something new in your voice, a new feeling, a new technique, and then you try to go to where you were totally failing, plug that in, and you see just how well it works on a song phrase, just like you did. And I think you did really, really well. There's going to be problem areas. There's going to be areas where like, I fucked up on that bit. That's
For
great.
sure.
Then we're going to zoom in on that area like a magnifying glass and be like, that's the problem. But I
Mhm.
just want to know before we do that, how was your feeling about doing it? About singing through that compared to all the other times you've been doing it. Does it feel more controlled? Does your voice feel more tired, or did it feel better? How was that for you?
It felt good. It felt good. I mean, when I sung it the first time, I can hear the difference. Like when I sung it that time, I was kind of focusing on kind of how it sounded that time versus how it sounded the
Mm.
first time, and I can definitely hear the difference. Clearly that one flat note. I think when I started hitting that point, I knew that it was the highest part, so I started getting tight everywhere. You know.
Okay. Good. Good. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
So. Mhm.
Good. Well, that's really going to frame how we're going to work on it then. I'm glad that you said that. So here's the thing and I think you're doing really, really well in this range. I think you've got a good tone already. So you just need to level up your control and figure some things out. And I think I think it's going to be good, man. I think you should be able to sing up to the C5 in songs and stuff pretty soon. I think, it's kind of
For
like
sure.
it's like waiting there for you, just to figure out.
Yeah.
So I think here's what has to happen with the abs. You're engaging the abs. You're flexing. You're tensing the abs. You're engaging the muscles in the abdominal wall to raise breath pressure. Right. So if we all go together and we let out a small stream of S, including you 47 currently watching, let out a small stream of S. So just breathe in a nice, like you smell something. right? Delicious. Like you smelled something good. So it's a nice satisfying breath. Like, oh my God, what is mom cooking today?
Mhm.
Oh, it's my favorite. It's the tomato with the feta cheese. Oh, great. That's what my mom makes. She's weird, but she's a good cook. She tries some weird things I never had anywhere else. I'm like, but it's great. Okay, so tomato with feta cheese inside. That's an example. All right, so you smell something good. Let out a small. Hold that breath in and let out a very small breath, small stream of S. Yeah, that's good. What did you feel as time went on, from the beginning to the end?
Stomach started going in, slowly but surely.
Good.
I didn't feel too much, uh, anything else,
All right.
honestly.
Okay.
Maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
No, that's all good. So now you're continuing to direct your attention. I want you to direct your attention downward. What's happening in those muscles? I just want you to do
Okay.
it one more time. Don't hold it nearly as long, just to get a taste
Okay.
of what is going down in those down there in your core as you let out a small stream of breath. Go ahead. Cool. Cool.
Mhm.
Anything new or just the same
Um,
as
well, I
last time?
kind of felt that. I kind of felt that my core, in terms of my ab area, but I also felt something like on my sides and maybe a little bit in my back.
Okay,
Um,
cool. So as time went on, you started to feel those sensations.
yeah, exactly.
So we could say that as more air left you to keep the same stream of air, muscles engaged that weren't previously engaged.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. All right, so that's something we're just going to kind of keep that off to the side as knowledge that we've now learned. Now we're going to go and we're going to adjust the flow of the air. So we're going to start the same nice stream,
Mhm.
same breath in. You're going to do that. Blow harder. Good. Good.
Mhm.
Really, really good. Really, really
Mhm.
good. What did you feel different when you started to blow out the air harder?
More pressure in my abs.
Okay.
So
Okay,
yeah,
really, really cool. More pressure in your abs. Good. So more muscular tension to push the air out harder.
exactly.
Okay. So we can transfer this knowledge into singing somehow. So
Mhm.
when you sing and the voice needs more breath pressure, it's going to feel
Mhm.
exactly like what just happened to you.
Mhm.
How does more air flow on an S translate into breath pressure? We've got to think about that. How does air flow and the feeling of tension below to blow out the air harder? How does that translate into singing with air pressure? The way it works is basically we have something resisting the air, the outflow of the air. Whereas with the S, we don't really. I mean, we have a little bit of the tongue, but it's not really resisting the air very much. What we have is when we sing, the vocal folds are vibrating, right? And so the vocal folds play this game with the breath pressure, right? Where breath pressure really is you trying to blow out that air, exactly like when you go, you're trying to blow out air, and what happens is you stop the outflow of air.
Uh-huh.
So when you go, uh, do that very quietly.
Uh, uh,
Good. It's kind of a quiet, soft sound, and there's not very much air pressure. You don't feel very much in your abs, right?
yeah. No.
Good. And then I want you to change it. Uh, 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 uh.
Uh, 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 uh.
Any change in the abs or the same?
Change.
Okay. And it was more what? More tense, more tight?
More tight.
Okay, good. So what happened there is you generated more breath pressure. And what happens is simultaneously as you tried to push that air out faster, the vocal folds resisted that air. And that's really how it works, right? Breath pressure is made and controlled by you attempting to push the air out and stopping that, right? This is how we get also stronger vocal fold closure is we need to have sufficiently high enough breath pressure. If you're very gentle with the abs and stuff and you don't try to make any pressure,
Good luck getting any kind of power through your voice. Hey, maybe in the low part. I mean, that's kind of chesty. But if I take that same energy, that same pressure, just thins, and it's going to be very heady, light, falsetto-y sounding. That's how it works. So what we're doing is we're trying to go, this is part of going overboard, is using way more pressure than you normally would, because we're trying to do that enough to get enough vocal fold resistance. So it's kind of like a chicken and egg thing. You don't get the pressure if you don't get the vocal fold resistance. You don't get the vocal fold resistance, right, if the pressure's in there. It's like they have to happen simultaneously.
Yeah.
So, okay. So that's why I think you're getting tired, because you're not used to generating that kind of pressure. So I really think, exercising more, getting more fit, I think will help you to make more pressure. It's very similar, that ability to make the pressure. Very similar to make the pressure if you're lifting the weight and if you're going to sing. You don't use your body the same way, and you're probably never going to tense quite as hard as, you try to bench press. You really need to flex your abs. There's definitely such a thing as too much in singing, right? We don't want to be getting pressed, where we're stuck in like, if we overdo the pressure, the sound is going to squeeze a lot, and we don't want that. We want to stay relatively in this state of balance. Right? And just kind of pick what's the pressure, what's the minimum pressure necessary for that thick tone. I think right now you just have to go too far.
Yeah.
Overdo it, and it's going to cost you energy. The more you do it, less energy it's going to cost. All right. Let's focus on that phrase. Where are we at? Underneath the chandelier, we're dancing all alone. Where's the next part?
There's no reason to hide. We're feeling inside right now. Baby, just turn down the lights.
Let's just turn down the lights and close the door. Ooh, I love that just, but you won't need it. It's B flat. Okay, let's try that. Let's try to take that melody. Baby, let's just turn. That's going to be the F. Turn down the lights. And let's start there. And let's do the melody. All the way to the high part. All right. And I want you to use the same creaky exercise. So on every note, I want you to try to dig in with the creak. We're going to go. We're using the creak. You're going to dig in with it, and you're going to set the closure every time, basically for the note, especially when you feel that you're losing control. You can go back. The creak is right there waiting for you. So, baby, let's just turn, but on an You did it. You made the B flat, and I know that you can make the B flat, but I want this to be better. This needs to get coordinated in a better direction. This is more like, this actually sounds more strained to me than before. Like, you're trying to make the closure, but I almost hear too much air passing. There's no no not there's too much air, I think. So dig in more on the creak. Really focus on slowing the rhythm down, slow the tempo down. If you feel that you're leaking air, if you feel that the closure is not quite right, who cares? We're just trying to plug it in. Go ahead. I liked everything about that better except for the high note. I want to know your feelings, though. Is the last one easier for you, or is this one easier?
This one felt easier. This one felt easier for sure.
Okay, cool. I think maybe why you're getting stuck on the high note is you're using more closure than you can currently handle for the top note.
Okay.
Let's try just focusing on that top note. Back to our dragging the creek method. Okay, how's that feeling? Because that sounds lighter.
Yeah.
Okay, is that feeling more comfortable, less comfortable?
Yeah, feeling more comfortable.
Okay, so let's try that again. Go ahead. Okay, good. Let's go back to baby, let's just turn. Yeah. Go ahead.
Creak on every note.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, did I do something wrong? We're in a different key. Needed. No. Were you in the right key? I don't know what just happened. Maybe I just got really confused. Baby, let's just turn on the light and close the door. Ooh, I love that dress, but you won't need. Ooh, I love that dress, but you won't need it. I think you were in the right key. It sounded. Maybe it just sounded so easy and good that I'm like, it couldn't have been the note. All right, one more time, please. Let's fast forward a little bit. Baby, let's just turn on the lights and close the door. Start from. Good, let's try it again. The first note was bad. Then you corrected it. Could you feel that?
Yeah.
Good. All right. Start with. Try to find that place immediately as you even make the sound. Go ahead. Ooh, I love that dress, but you won't need it. Good. Let's try to sustain the top note a little bit. And just kind of go back and forth between them so you can correct your approach into that note. Try to make it more comfortable. This is what I mean. Zooming in on the treble area now. We're just going right to those two notes and giving you plenty of time to try to adjust it, to try to find where's it supposed to go. Go ahead. Boom. Whoa, you just did something and you corrected it.
Yeah.
Again, please. Whoa. Baby, let's just. No. Ooh, I love that dress, but you won't need. Ooh, I love that dress, but you won't need. Oh, I would see that's where I was going wrong. Okay. But from the. Did you guys hear that? Oh man. What a legend. A legend. Great job, man. Really good. How'd that feel?
Felt good. That probably was the easiest feeling one the whole day.
Excellent. Really, really good. Really, really good job. Okay. So, let's try that one more time. Good. I want you to try to not ram the breath pressure up dramatically. So we're not doing like it's more it's more of this digging, this fading. Instead of don't like think of this. Keep the pressure, that breath pressure, that flow constant. Don't be turning on and off and jolting it. Don't be doing that. It's like this is still. It's like you're still trying to push out the air. You're still trying to keep that pressure level. right?
Yeah.
Even, not swell it randomly on every note.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Did the pressure work, or was it just the time?
No, that's what it was.
All right, there we go. All right, let's go back to "Baby, let's just turn," but not yet with the words. We got to plug it into the earlier phrase.
Mm-hmm. You gotta chill out, man.
Yeah, it's my reaction to throwing you off. Yeah. Oh man, I'm having fun. That's great, man. Really, really good. Really good. Okay, so what we want to know about breath pressure sustained over time. Remember when we were doing that S, and the longer you blew out the S, the harder it got and the more abs came in. Well, this is what's going to happen to you as you sustain through phrases, because more air is coming out of you. I mean, this is literally what happened. You started on a full tank. The S was easier and less tension in the abs as you were working through the first part of the S. Then what happens is the more air escapes, to keep out the same outflow of air, the abs had to engage and come in to work with you. Mm-hmm. This is exactly what happens when you sing, because now instead of air flow, we're dealing with air pressure. To maintain the same level of air pressure, air's coming out of you, air's coming out. So to keep that same level of pressure up, the more air comes out of you, the more abs come in. Here's where we run into trouble as singers, is that as the more air is coming out of us and our abs tighten, one, we might get too tight. But most importantly, usually what happens is you don't release the tension for the next breath. So then you have this tension, you try breathing in, and it's restricted. Go ahead and try to brace your abs a little bit, not intensely, but a bit, and then just try to breathe in that nice satisfied breath, but keep the abs tense. Mm-hmm. How was that?
A lot less air.
A lot less. Okay, a lot less air. So now that you've got a lot less air in your body, now what has to happen for the same pressure of air that you used before when you had more air in your body? What do the abs have to do?
You gotta squeeze more.
You gotta squeeze more, and then you start doing that more and more and more. Your voice is gonna get tired. It's gonna get tired because you're gonna get tired of squeezing the abs. So I want you on every single phrase just to make sure that you really let go of the abs on that inhale. You don't continue bracing for them. So we're going to just say the rhythm, all right? And we're going to really just focus on taking enough of a pause to make sure that you let go of the abs. I'm talking like shamefully, like you just ate at a feast and you really let it go. It's like, look at that. That's jelly, man. That's jelly. I'm not trying to flex for anybody. It's not like you're into the club, you got your nice shirt on, or you're at the gym and you're like, yeah, look, girls. No, none of that. When you breathe in, it's got to go. Look, that's unattractive, you know? Oh, man. All right, go ahead.
So you want me to sing the phrase? And not worry about the rhythm.
And not worry about the rhythm. If you can relax the abs and you feel that you did it sufficiently well, then keep the rhythm. But if you feel that, oh, wait, no, then pause until you get it right. How was that?
Felt good.
Okay.
There was a couple of points where I sped up that I could feel that I wasn't getting that. I was holding that tightness.
Okay, good.
So
Good to notice.
Just trying to recognize that while I'm doing it.
Okay, good. So, good. All right. So now let's try it again. And I want you, it's hard, man. I want you to just really say screw the rhythm, because I really want you to keep your attention on the creaking and the closure of that, because I think that now that you've put your attention somewhere else, you've let go a bit of the emphasis that you focused on with the, because I hear a little more air going through it. And I actually really appreciate that tone again, but it's not where I want you to start. That's something that you want to, if it's there, be a little careful of and a little mindful of, and try try to correct against it, and then just see what you can get away with when your voice is coordinated and feeling good, and you can get through the phrase. Then you can add back in things that are textures and tastes, and see how much you lose control of your voice doing that, and how much you can get away with, basically. So I want you to focus on that creak, try to get a little more solid, and really when there's a breath, let's say, like, what was the key? I don't know. Oh wait, you're gonna probably breathe there. Just relax. Breathe out the air. Breathe in a new breath. We're just destroying the rhythm, because I really want you to focus on doing both.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. How was that?
Felt better.
Okay. Good. So we're kind of trying to aim for that in rhythm, which is very hard, but it takes time. The main takeaway is just don't keep the abs so braced when you breathe in. And it's very hard, man. It's like you're tensing, relaxing, tensing, relaxing, tensing, relaxing, tensing, relaxing. Like, that's not normal. When do we do that in life? I don't know. So it's a little bizarre, and that's the challenge. Don't lock the abs as you sing, as you sustain. Relax them for the inhales. All right. Let's work through that again one more time. No, you were on the right note. Okay, so now I'm hearing again that you're going more to like instead of the flow is continuing. I'm never letting go. To accomplish that, you have to keep letting go of the pressure and adding the pressure. Pressure is staying nice and constant through every breath that you have. So again, you can put dig your fingers in here, and it's got to constantly be doing what it's doing, not You see how it goes back in, It's continuing its motion outward. Okay.
I hear it.
Good.
I hear it.
Good.
I hear it.
Yeah, so that's a bit better with keeping it, but the top note, I feel that you pressurized a bit much. Yeah. Okay, but good. So it's tiring, man. It's tiring, and sometimes it's the beginning stages for you. So you might get very tired from doing this, just trying to correct it, and then you'll run out of energy. As you start to run out of energy, and maybe this is why you're switching from to because you're like, man, it's very hard to keep that sustained the whole time. Then then it's basically just time to stop. It's time to take a break, time to rest. We're trying to just keep going because we're doing a lesson and we want to milk the cow for all she's got right now. But just for for in your own time, when you start to get tired, just take a break. Wait till some energy comes back. It's like at the gym. Don't keep doing the same exercise that doesn't make any sense after you've already wasted your energy. Let it come back in. Let the energy come back, like with a little break. All right, but let's just go back to the phrase now. Baby, let's just turn down the lights. Yeah, and I want you to hold on. I gotta like cough up my loogie. Man, that's so gross. Hold on. so nasty. Being sick is disgusting. Okay. All right, that's better. All right. What was I saying? Through the phrase again, I want you to sing it this time. Try to keep the rhythm. Try to just keep these elements in your mind. Do your best to do all of them at once. It's very challenging. It's very hard to do all of them at once, but let's just see how you do. We're trying to use again that creaking like you did the first time, and now that we've gotten several successful, I mean maybe like 10 times you've already done this note well, and you know what it's supposed to be like. You're trying to plug from the exercise, that experience that you've had, into when you do the melody. Like that's what you're looking for in your voice when you go up there. All right, so let's go ahead.
Start from the very beginning.
Now baby, let's just turn. We're really trying to correct that B flat.
Yeah. Baby, let's just turn down the lights and close the door. Oh, I love that dress, but you won't need it anymore.
Good.
No, you don't need it no more.
Good. How was that compared to before? A little flat, but much better than the last time.
I heard it was a little flat, but it also felt way easier.
Good. Really good.
A lot easier. Yeah.
Good. Let's try it again. Just from, oh, I love that dress. Just from that part.
Oh, I love that dress, but you won't need it anymore.
Great. That's even better.
Yep.
Even better. Definitely much closer to the note. Great job. Let's try that again. I want you to go on. Need it anymore. No, you won't need it no more. Let's just kiss till we make. Right?
Yep.
Okay. Ooh.
Oh, I love that dress, but you won't need it anymore. No, you won't need it no more. Let's just kiss till we're naked, baby. Versace on the floor.
Good, really good. Okay, I want to play the first video. I want to put that as an end cap to this, man, because that's great compared to where you sent me the video of. I don't know if I'm afraid to share my screen though, because I really want to, but I'm afraid that it's not going to work. I think you're going to be saved today. All right, but really great job. Let's wrap it up. Do you have any questions for me about, anything really?
Just one question in terms of with the mixed voice. When we're thinking about it and we're learning to get it, should we think about, cause I've heard like the head mix obviously and the chest mix. Do you eventually switch over to like the head mix, or do you always want to think of it like the chest mix, kind of like going up as far as you can take it?
Okay. Notice that we didn't really talk about what mixed voice was in this entire mixed voice live stream. We just did things to fix your voice and to coordinate it. And honestly, that's my main focus with lessons. As much as I'm making videos and I'm like, oh, this is what we should call this, and here's why. It's like, that's because that's my opinion about vocal pedagogy, and I have strong opinions about that crap. Because I'm a nerd, okay? Because I'm a nerd. I said it. I know you're looking at me like that. Okay. I'm just playing. So it doesn't matter. That's the answer to your question. It doesn't matter. All that stuff is a way for you to model your voice, to say, oh, that's that voice. That's that voice. And it's really just there to help you to understand your vocal options and to help you orient. Like, oh, am I going for this? Am I going for that? And if I go for that, what is it that I should do to get that? And if I'm going for this, what is it I should do to get that? Personally, I think that this like chest head mix, falsetto, like, no, I like falsetto. Okay. Chest head mix, kind of like light mix, heavy mix, chesty mix, heady mix kind of stuff is inferior as a model to describing the voice than things that currently exist. And in fact, I'm like always rescuing these words, and I'm having to explain what it is because like it doesn't make sense. I don't think so. So I'm always like, oh, we've got M1, M2. Like, why do I need to say, for example, mix? Like, why can't I use those words? They would be better words. Why? Because it's popular, and I want people to find my videos and get this information. And I still feel that I can communicate what people want using that model. But to be honest, I think you should look into complete vocal technique. If you're really looking for a way to understand your voice and to understand its capacities, all of its capacities, in a non-biased way that doesn't like
Yeah.
demonize belting, it doesn't demonize rocks screaming. It really shows you how to do everything, you know. And it definitely at the very least gives you a very good model, even if you're not interested in the other sounds, to understand your voice and what it's capable of, and to know what it
Yeah.
is that you're shooting for. Complete vocal technique, CVT. That's the acronym for it.
Dope.
Yeah, it was made by. Have you seen my video on that, or heard me talk about it?
Yeah, I've heard you talk about it.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think that model's much better,
Mhm.
and for explaining the voice, for explaining like what you can do. It's got a bit of a learning curve because it's unlike anything that you really hear. You know, it doesn't relate to the idea of super well of chest
Yeah.
head mix exactly. But I feel that that's a better way to describe it. What you should be looking for is closure in your voice. Closure, getting the closure. That's going to be the key to going higher without straining and without falsetto.
Mhm.
Yes, the voice is going to lighten. And the way you got to look at that the voice is going to thin out. It's going to sound headier. You said it. Shifted up here, felt more weighty, but not as weighty as the chest. You should
Yeah.
expect that to happen. But most importantly, you need to look at that like a coordination that you're developing. That's one of many. It's not your high voice. It's a version of your high voice. It's a version of your voice on that pitch.
Yeah.
And you can do other things. Honestly, what you just need to be focused on is, let me just get back there because it was new, it was cool, it sounded good, and you want to recreate it, and then you want to keep expanding your abilities. You want to get even more chestiness, even more weight,
Yeah.
but you cannot extend that into infinity. Everybody thins. Everybody's voice thins out, no matter who you're looking at. Everybody's voice thinning out. You're not hearing that. No, no guy is belting G5.
Yeah.
No guy. Oh, if you don't believe that, no guy's belting C6. Nobody's belting E6, G6. It happens somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's this eventual thinning that is going to occur, and it's going to feel kind of like I think what you felt in the high range there. That's more of a thinner tone. I would say that in how I think of what mixed voice is, you were finding mixed voice today in the upper range at that C5, that B4, because to me, mixed voice is when your voice thins more. And that's an audible thing, an auditory thing, where it sounds more like heady and light, more like falsetto, but it's also a physiological thing because these things work together. We can determine physiology based off of what sound there is. This is why we gotta love complete vocal technique for the research that they're doing into this kind of stuff. For example, if you are super chesty, the vocal folds aren't thinning there. They're staying closed very long. They're staying closed when they vibrate longer, and they're closing very rapidly after they open. And this is creating this chesty sound. And for that to happen, the vocal folds are not stretched. They're not stretched very much. If you stretch the vocal folds, it's almost like getting closer to falsetto because falsetto has the most vocal fold stretching. That's like when we go here, from here to here, that's allowing the vocal folds to stretch all the way. Vocal folds stretched, vocal folds thin. All right, same idea. And that goes along with the tone. That's a thick tone, right? As much thinner tone, as less thin. And so we can have this spectrum of really thick and strong and chesty to very thin and light. And you're finding a thinner tone up there, so I would say it is a mix. But okay, I would even say you can already mix what you were doing in the beginning. Baby, let's just turn. Baby, let's just turn on the lights. I would say that's a mix. Close the door, especially that. Ooh, that's all mix, what you were doing already. The problem is you just can't get that higher. You're struggling to get that higher. But I would say even that's a mix compared to what your voice is capable of, basically.
Yeah.
But it's all about reference. If you're not calling that mixed because to you that just feels the same as your chest voice lower, then that's not going to make any sense to you. This is why these words are subjective to an extent, because it's your model at the end of the day. How are you looking at your voice, and how are you mapping it out? Does that make sense? Damn, I'm a freaking windbag. It's like a question, and I just took 5 minutes and was like, you with information.
Nah, you good, because I'm low key somebody that likes to know how everything is supposed to operate. So those are the type of answers that I like.
Okay,
so
cool.
I appreciate it. All right, I got one more question, if you don't mind me asking.
Sure.
In terms of volume, is there like a difference between like a volume? Because I know you was mentioning energy, but then when you would show the example, I could tell that the sound might be louder, but it's not louder like a booming louder. It's more like a resonating kind of loud. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's not like a loud thunder. Like it doesn't sound like you're just blowing everything out, but I can clearly tell that it's a louder sound. You know, so I don't really know how to explain in terms of like a volume versus intensity, maybe like something like that
Okay.
along those
Yeah,
lines.
yeah. That's fair. Um,
Mhm.
that's fair. I would say,
You know, like if you heard a classical singer and then you heard like Bruno Mars, you know, like
yeah,
one person would fill the whole room up. Like,
yeah.
is there
I don't.
like,
There's a difference between volume and that, I think. Okay, and
so,
I don't know if this is answering your question. I don't know if I'm about to go down a rabbit hole that's answering the wrong question.
no, go ahead.
When you think of falsetto, could you make your falsetto very loud?
Probably.
So could you do
Probably.
like woo, like a very loud falsetto?
Can I do it?
Yeah, right now.
Woo!
Yeah, that's loud as right.
Yeah.
Very loud. Would you say that that has the intensity to it though? Does it have intensity? Does it have like that quality to it, or is it just loud? Or does it have both? Is it loud and intense?
That sounds like a loud and intense kind of sound
All
to me.
right.
I would describe it as like loud and intense.
Okay. Um. all right then. Then I'm going down barking up the wrong tree basically.
No, go say what you was gonna say though. Say what you was gonna say. I want to hear it.
All right, sure. I will, but I just don't think it's what you're getting at.
Mm.
We can make loud sounds and we can control volume independent of character to an extent. Especially in the high range. So in the high range, we can be very loud, but we can have this more empty character. Like falsetto is hollow, where it's thinner sounding. Woo! That's not really that strong, and it's not meaty sounding. It's not thick. It's not dense. In CVT, they call that density. It doesn't have a lot of density. It has basically zero density. It's falsetto. The vocal folds are being very stretched when they vibrate. If we were to, if we were to, let's take that down to a reasonable pitch. Woo! Woo! Still falsetto! Right? Very loud. Woo! Yeah, very loud in the room. Like that's gonna bug somebody if they're sitting right next to me. They're gonna be like, "Greg, please lower the volume. This is uncomfortable for my ears." It's loud, but it doesn't have this weightiness to it. So if we could add weightiness at lower volume. So let's say we take the same hollowness, but we lowered the volume. That would be still falsetto, right? Quiet falsetto, loud falsetto. I'm not really adding, to me, like much intensity into the tone. It's kind of just loud and hollow to me. If I add weight to the voice, you hear the tone change. It sounds a little thicker. It doesn't sound quite like falsetto, right? It sounds a little different. This is a mix. That we can build on and add more intensity.
Okay.
Or we could get loud without adding more intensity, right? Without making it denser and thicker sounding to me. I'm sorry, I'm stealing your word intense and I'm butchering it. Sorry. We could keep that kind of weight of the, not quite falsetto. Falsetto. Not falsetto. You hear the little difference, right?
Yeah.
And I could get louder with it. Much like the falsetto, I'm not really adding much weight to it. Instead, I could keep adding weight instead of getting louder. Hey! And my volume is not really exceeding much the sound that preceded it. The hey! That's not quite falsetto, but close to it. It's still loud. Hey! That's not much louder, but do you hear how it's a little like thicker?
Yeah.
So this we can control. This is what I was thinking maybe you were getting at.
Okay.
But this you can definitely learn to control. You can keep the voice thinner and loud, or you can make it stronger at a lower volume. And maybe that's a little bit of what you're hearing is that you can keep the voice more strong, even more resonant sounding. More more buzzing.
Resonant sounding. That's the word I was trying to use. Resonant. Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
And we can do that at lower volumes, or we could raise the volume. We kind of have flexibility, especially in the upper range, not really in the lower range. If I try to take the non-resonant sound loud, That's it. If I make it more resonant early in volume, do you hear the difference?
Yeah.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
The second one is actually less loud to me in the room.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is that
Yeah. 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 That
touching
was
on?
it. That was it.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Okay,
I appreciate that.
it was the right tree. So you
There
can
we go.
control that. You can control that, and I would look at that exactly like mixing. If you make it
Mm-hmm.
more to falsetto, it's more of a mix. It's lighter. It's a lighter mix basically. If you make it
Mm-hmm.
more chesty, then it's a heavier mix basically. This is how I would use this framework of chest head mix type of stuff to frame this. The lighter you go, the more it's getting towards falsetto.
Yeah, so
You
it's not like you can't bring the lightness down. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
absolutely. You can bring the lightness down. Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So you're spot on. Exactly.
mhm,
Because we could take that.
mhm,
Ah, 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 ah,
mhm,
ah, 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 ah. Very
mhm.
similar quality and physiologically very similar from the top to
Yeah.
the bottom there.
Mhm,
And this is very common in singing things like this is called reduced density in complete vocal technique, reduced density
mhm,
in the vocal mode of neutral. And in reduced density, we have we have this kind of softness, right? And it's like
mhm.
almost, it's not like it's almost it's reduced. Oh my god, I can't get out of that. It's very light. It's very heady. It's very thin, even in the bottom.
Mhm.
That's not that far from falsetto, falsetto. That's not that far from falsetto, right? You could even
Mhm.
think of it like it's the first thing out of falsetto.
Mhm.
That's a very thin sound. The vocal folds are very stretched. And you can control what I just did, somewhat independently of volume.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because you can tell your vocal folds, oh, I want to go louder, but I don't want to make it more buzzy, more
Yeah.
intense, more resonant. And that's like
Mhm.
falsetto singing. That's what sopranos do. It's like loud, but not the same as that quality of ah. Let me try it in a range where maybe I can do it. So, versus oh, and both are, yeah, my voice is tired, but both are around the same. No, actually, that second one is less loud. Is louder than but that one is like denser and thicker sounding.
Yeah.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
So, all right, I should go before I embarrass myself with with tired voice demonstrations.
Okay,
All right,
I appreciate everything. I appreciate everything for answering my questions, helping me out. Like
no
I would have
problem.
never heard that breathiness. Like I guess because I never really registered it that it was breathy in my ear until you helped me like really see the difference. So that means a lot. I appreciate that. I'm definitely gonna be practicing and
All right, no
sorting
worries,
it.
man. No worries, no worries. All right, let me know if you wanna, if you wanna do lessons in the future. You can always hit me up. You
No
know.
doubt. I'm gonna shoot you an email after this, and then we're gonna figure something out.
All right, cool, man. Great job today, and thanks for coming on and exposing yourself in front of in front of potentially thousands of people.
Hey, the only way to get better is to mess up, man. So I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Cool, man. Cool. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, you the man, bro.
All right. Bye. All right. That was cool, guys. All right. Finally, I can take a look at the chat and maybe answer a couple of questions. Damn, my voice is getting tired. Speaking is wipes me out vocally. I get so tired from talking. And you know what? I don't even get tired as much when in my lessons. I used to get way more tired from speaking constantly, but I get tired when I'm speaking when there's an audience. That's when my voice gets wiped out. I'm also sick and I've been teaching all day, so I'm at the end of my rope here. But yeah, and if you guys have any questions you want me, I'll stick around for a couple more minutes before we wrap this thing up. Thank you all for coming out. If you haven't and you're still here, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. It probably helps me with the algorithm and getting this video to more people, so I'd appreciate that. Greg, one last question from Sam Summers. Please answer, how long should I go on complete vocal rest for? If you're really worried, go on complete rest for 2 whole days. Take a measurement of how your voice is before the rest, and then after the rest, after the 2 full days of rest, feel your voice. And here's some things you should check. And actually, this would be a good example for you. You're lucky because right now I'm hoarse, and you'll get to hear what some hoarseness sounds like a accurate sound of hoarseness. So onsets will become harder with soft phonation. So soft sounds will become more difficult to produce, and you'll often get a delay when you have some vocal fold swelling. So we're just trying to basically test for, are my vocal folds swollen? So we can do very quiet sounds. And you want to know when you intended that sound to come out. Dun, dun, dun. Did it come out? If it goes, and like air blows first, then that's swelling. And you should really check this in falsetto. See how falsetto feels, because falsetto tends to go downhill the first, like as number 1. So you guys hear that little air? That's not intentional. It's not coming out when I want. It's delayed. You see, it's not synced with my finger. It's delayed. So that's swelling. Delilah. No. I got a pack of animals over here. So do that across your range. Very soft. Just tell, how delayed is it. Get a measurement that way. Just try some normal singing, sing through a song. Does things feel tight? Does it feel uncomfortable? Do you have a difficult time maintaining vocal fold closure? Do you feel that you're straining more? Just get a sense of where your voice is, and then check that similar stuff after the 2 days of rest. And if it feels dramatically better, then you know that probably your vocal folds were swollen and you just gave enough time for them to heal and recover from whatever it is that's going on. Can you coordinate from creak to high head voice flageolet? Yes, absolutely. So that would be like, oh man. Well, it should be something like that. Yeah, it should be something along those lines. Oh, my poor voice. Hey Greg, do you have any tips for first exposure to mixed voice and how to build it upon it after that? I do. I mean, if you haven't checked out my video, Mixed Voice, the Magic Trio, and the Nasality one, I recommend that you start there. Then also check out that latest one about why aren't you doing these mixed voice exercises. Great stuff in there to try. But basically, first thing you should do is try to just sing higher in M1. Try to get your chest voice to go up. Hey! Hey! Try to get it to go raise in pitch. That's hey! 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 Try to get that to go up. And then what you can do is refine from there. So if you're able to get like an F, hey! In this belty, big, chesty, weighty sound, and what we could do is we could narrow, for example, the vowel. And this is in the Magic Trio video. You could narrow, close the vowel down. And that, if you are able to actually keep the vocal fold closure, you'll go into a mix. Hey! Hey! Now I'm in a mix. That's the start of it. Hey! Now I'm in a mix. Oh! Oh! That's more of a mix. So that could be, and this is probably one of the best places to start if you don't have any sense of it. I always work with people to really figure out how to coordinate their chest voice, their belting, their loud singing first, because that's more the foundation that you need to build upon. You need, and that we get to correct things like support, vocal fold closure. It's much easier that way. Remember, a mix is something that's, hey, stop! My God, my pack of wild animals. A mix is something that's takes a little more finesse. You know what I mean? So those closed vowels are usually, they're going to take a little more finesse than the open vowel. So it's like, again, there's been this theme this entire night of painting with a broad brush initially, and then you refine from there. And that's kind of what that's a similar idea. How do you do a quiet mix? Does it mean more head voice type mix. So how do you do a quiet mix? Yes, exactly. So if you lower the volume, you're going to necessarily need to get a bit thinner, especially in the high part of the voice. That's why one of the things in the Magic Trio is the volume. If you lower the volume, you're gonna thin a bit more. This is my thoughts on it. I don't think that you can really maintain the same level of like, hey, chestiness if you don't increase the volume. Hey. I didn't increase the volume and it got a bit thinner. If I want to match that I had to get a bit louder. So yeah, if you do a quiet mix, it's going to be a bit thinner. If you really try to keep the volume down, you're not going to be able to be super full. That's for the high range. And the higher you go, the more so that is. Okay. Which exercise is best for extending falsetto, maybe to A5? Whooping. Get in touch with whoop timbre. Woo! Woo! It's a specific acoustic registration, basically. And you want to get into this place where your voice feels very whoopy, like at a football game. Woo! Hey! Yeah, and it can get very, very loud. Build a lot of clarity into the tone. So you don't want woo! You want woo! Hey! Woo! You want this clarity to it. It should ring. Should kind of be loud and clear. That's what you want to build into your falsetto and try dragging that up that way. Woo! Woo! What is that? Woo! Woo! Oh, I can't. I'm too tired, so I can't do A. But that's where I would start with. Yeah. Not good today. Have I studied Burton Kaufman's book? I have not. There is a term known as vowel register, and it is used by Steve Perry, as mentioned by Alex Kariotis. Are you familiar with vowel register? A little bit. I just had a Skype, a Zoom call with Daniel Formica, and he was telling me about Burton Kaufman and vowel register. I'm going to go hang out with him. Hopefully, in an upcoming weekend, we're going to hang out and sing a little bit and talk about voice. So maybe Daniel and I will actually do a collaboration. He was telling me a bit about vowel register. Can't say that I completely understand everything that's going on in the Burton Kaufman system, but I'm sure he'll explain to me a bit. Are you able to teach distortion and whistle register? What variation there in that question? Yes, I am able to teach distortion and whistle register, but I am by no means a qualified expert on whistle register because I am not good at whistle register, but I am good at distortion. So I haven't put in the time and the work to coordinate whistle. So while I might have some good advice and some good tips, I don't speak from experience of really trying to develop and cultivate a very well-developed whistle. So I really would recommend that you go see somebody else, not me, about whistle. Tony Linke. Sorry, Tony, I don't know how to say your last name. I admit it. He's a friend. He's also a vocal coach. Tony is really good at whistle tones. Also, Jens, Jens Johansson, whatever. He's really, really good. I linked both of them in my grandpa video, so I'm not going to add like a link to their channels in this live stream. If you go and you watch my video about grandpa voice, is this stopping you from singing in mixed voice? Or I forget what clickbait title I put on that, but if you go find that, you'll find, if you watch the video through, you'll find their channels, or, email me. If you email me, then I will get back to you and give you a link to them. Okay, Greg, I have a question. Man, these questions are never ending. What did I get myself into? Whenever I try to sing in this so-called mixed voice, is it normal to feel that your voice feels and sounds scratchy? I noticed this during the Creaky exercise. I think so. You're trying to, well, I guess I would have some questions there. Are you able to do other non-scratchy techniques? Like louder singing? Are you able to be louder and clearer, or is it anything in that range that isn't basically falsetto? Does that feel scratchy? And that would be my question. Or and I'll also follow this by saying that you're trying to change the way that the vocal folds are vibrating. You're trying to change the closure in them, and it's normal that as you do that, and as you're doing brand new things with your body that it's never done before, you're going to be your coordination is going to be slightly off. So you're going to be doing things slightly wrong. And you don't want to be afraid of things that don't sound quite coordinated, as long as they feel okay, as long as you're not feeling strain and tension, as long as, you're not getting hoarse from doing it, then it's okay to have something that's baby bathwater. Remember, that was the theme of today, baby and bathwater. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So, I'm rereading this now. If it feels scratchy, that's probably not good. Like, especially if it tickles and it's kind of uncomfortable, then that means you're so far off of the mark that it's uncomfortable. And I would be careful. I would be careful with how often you repeat doing stuff like that, especially as you start getting more and more inflamed. I would be careful pushing the bounds of your comfort with that. You probably, I would look to what can I do to change this to make it more comfortable in this moment right now, and that's where voice lessons come in. I just want to sing like AJ Mitchell, high and soft, effortless. Haha. Do you think it's possible? I don't think AJ sings high, soft, and effortless. I think he actually has a very effortful tone to his voice. And I think both are possible. So I disagree with that assessment of AJ. I think he has really like a kind of like pushed quality. Like it really sounds like he's giving a lot of effort. And I don't mean that in a pejorative way. I think that it's nice, and I appreciate him for it. But no, I don't hear effortlessness in AJ's coordinations in any sense of the word effortless. But I think both are possible. Here's somebody I think sings more effortless, like Sam Smith. I think Steve Perry sang with a more effortless tone. I think Ariana Grande has more of an effortless tone. All right, I'm stumped. That's it. Bruno Mars does not have an effortless tone. Usually he really puts like this effortful quality. It's wow, like I love that about his tone. I love that about his singing. That would be an example. Brendan Urie does the same thing. This really has this more effortful quality into his voice. There's also this thing some opera singers do during the passaggio, commonly known as covering Pavarotti's video. I know what you're talking about, but also some term as the turning of the voice. Yes. Would you say it's a mix? Yes, I would say that isn't. Well, yes, I would say that it's a mix, but this is where mixed voice breaks down as a good model for the voice, and here's why. Because for me, part of my definition of mixed voice is that it can't be an open vowel with minimal vocal fold stretching, and that's basically belting. If we were to have a very thick, chesty tone with an open vowel, oh my God, the phlegm, this is disgusting. If we were to have a thick open vowel, a thick sounding chesty quality on an open vowel, that would be belting in my definition. If all you do is you turn the voice or you cover it, but you keep the thickness and the chestiness, now you're at Pavarotti, now you're at Franco Corelli, now you're at a big, heavy tenor sound. What's the big difference physiologically between that? If that's a mix now? So Pavarotti C5 is a mix, but Jennifer Hudson belting F is a belt. What's really the difference there? It's only the acoustic registration. It's only the sound of the vowel. Is it an A or is it an A? That's a closed vowel. A, open vowel, A. That's the only difference. But the vocal folds are pretty much doing the same thing. Is that really worth calling a different name on the? No. I mean, is it worth? No. I feel that we could, if I were to use the mix model, I would have to say it's a very heavy mix. It's as heavy as a belt. It's a mix that's as heavy as a belt. So what's the difference between it and a belt? Only the vowel, only the acoustic registration. I'm not very satisfied with that as an answer. I feel like that's like really like I'm going to draw the line right there between mix and belt. That doesn't make sense to me as a model in terms of functionality and just like logic. So I prefer complete vocal technique in this instance. Both the open vowel would be Pavarotti C5. Pretty much everybody C5 in opera world would be in edge, the vocal mode edge. If you're really doing it very, very full and very, very chesty, it's going to be edge. And you can do edge with a brighter sound color and an open vowel, or you could do edge with a darker sound color and a darker vowel. And that's how I would explain what's happening there. I wouldn't call it, it would be a very heavy mix, basically. And this kind of points out the flaw in the chest head mix type of stuff. But for some people, that's what mix means, and that is a very heavy mix. So for some people, this is very valid, and they don't see a problem with this. But for me, it's like, how do you do distortion like Youngblood? Who's that? Youngblood, say you want me, out in life. That? Out in life, I'm just a dead man walking tonight. Say you need it, say you need it. Is that what you want? I just saw Young Blood, and that was the only thing I think of. Thank you for answering my question. Best of luck on the singing journey. Thank you. Marky says, hey, Greg, can I do anything with my nasally tone while I'm using my mix? Well, I would say nasality is a surefire way to end up in a mix when you ascend in pitch. Nasal tends to thin the voice. So if you go, oh, 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 it's hard for me to get a lot of weight on that. Oh, on the low range, no problem. Oh, oh, oh. God damn, that's pathetic. All right, but you hear what's happening. It's thinner. If I go, hey, hey, I'll let the mouth way easier. Plus, I'm cheating with an open vowel. But if I nasal that, it makes it much harder. It makes it so that my voice wants to go into what I just mentioned before. It wants to close. It wants to turn over. It wants to go into that closed vowel, which is much harder to keep the weight and the fullness behind. I hope that helps. I like to learn how to get better at light mix coordination. Do you have any good exercises for that? I like to get better at a light mix coordination. Do you have any good exercises for that? Learn, I would say most importantly, how to just grab a little bit of chestiness, a little bit of density, a little mix right out of falsetto. Ah, 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 without elevating the volume. Ah, 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 ah. That's how I sing in light mix. Say something pretty like you used to do. It's not very loud. It's very quiet, but I don't have to get louder to add the mix, to add some weight in on it, to get out it, to escape falsetto. And that is kind of tricky to learn how to do, but that's, I think, what you got to focus on. Keep the closure as you descend in volume, for example, would be another way of thinking of this. So like, hey, let's say we start louder. Hey! I'm really trying to hold on. I'm not trying to go, hey, no, I just let go to falsetto. So that's kind of what you have to learn how to do to get good at light mix. Hope that helps. Can you teach how to improve on better tone? Yes, but not right now. That's a big old conversation. Hey, I feel like I've had my mix for a few months now, but I'm not entirely happy with the tone. Does it just get nicer with practicing songs and mix, or do you recommend any exercises? Look at it like a control. The more control you get over the mix, over singing higher notes, over developing your voice, the more you're going to be able to actually guide the tone in the way that is pleasant in your opinion. So look at tone as something that is a feature of control. If you have nice tone lower, the reason why you don't have tone higher probably is because you don't know what you're doing with your upper range. So if you just focus your attention on how do I get more control over my voice, control over the volume dynamics, control over how much chestiness I can put, control over how thin I can be, control over, things like that, then I think if you just focus on that, can I sing all the vowels up there? Can I do it? A, E, O, ooh. Can you do a multitude of vowels? I think that getting that kind of control and just focusing on that will free you up to explore and actually find the tone that you want. That would be my suggestion. What's your thoughts on the disparity? Oh my God, these questions keep coming. Catch up. What's your thoughts on the disparity between the male singers and female singers' technique level in most pop singing? Like why most male singers in pop struggle to belt mix or do runs, but all the females do? Well, I would actually say that it requires a higher level of technique for male singers and a lower level of technique for female singers. So I would disagree with your premise there. I think that male singers are typically better technically and more coordinated than female singers, Eduardo. Male singers are often in pop demanding that you sing it up to like A, B flat, at least in pop music. So usually most men are meeting that standard, whereas the equivalent for a woman would be like maybe like singing, I don't know. Let's see, what would that be? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I eat my words. Now that I think about that, a lot of women are actually doing C5, C sharp 5s when they're singing, especially today. All right, I eat my words. I don't know why, because I think I guess it's about equal. I guess the women aren't technically less advanced. Sorry, girls, I shaded you for no reason. So now that I think about that, the girls... The girls are often in pop, I think, doing like D5s at least, E flats, and that's definitely hard, just like a A and a B flat is for a guy. I think I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong. I guess what I would say is, though, when you compare the cream of the crop, are there really more women or more men that are better? Like, are there really more women that are better than men? Because if I think of, like, I don't know, if I think of, it could be the case, but if I think of, like, male examples that are really good, Brendan Urie, Bruno Mars, Sam Smith, who are other male singers that are really good? There's lots. Max, Shawn Mendes is leveling up his game. Let me tell you, Shawn Mendes' vocal skills are definitely increasing. Singing very high, in difficult things, or difficult coordinations. Who else is a male that's doing this? I would say like Ed Sheeran and Justin Bieber are examples of people that aren't really as phenomenal. But those some men, some females: Tori Kelly, Ariana Grande, Ariana Grande, Jennifer Hudson. Kelly Clarkson back in the day. Ooh, man, I'm not deep into the music scene right now. All right. I can name good female singers and male singers. That's my argument for why they're the same. I don't know. Daniel Formica is great. I took some lessons with him. His advice on technique is extremely valuable. Thank you for reaching out to him. He definitely needs more exposure. Cool. Yeah, I think he does. I was just talking to him about his YouTube channel. Hey, Greg, do you have any more tips? Any tips for getting out of the grandpa voice? My chest voice sounds squishy and grunty as I go higher. Twang, man, twang. So, if you do grandpa, to your higher range. Really, I think what you want to find is like raise the larynx. That's going to be very difficult. In fact, impossible to do while you're doing the grandpa. It just doesn't work. You don't even get a sound. So I would focus on really bright sounds. And trying to take that higher. Like a month ago. Why not? Check it. Yes. Check out the Grandpa Mix video. I thought they meant the singer Youngblood, not the song. I don't know the singer Youngblood. That's why I did that, Eduardo. I know the singer, but he pretty much did what I was looking for when he sang the song Youngblood. But how do I do the distortion? The distortion. Am I getting to the end of the questions? All right, I am. I'm closing this gap, baby. I'm closing it. We're going to do it. How do you do distortion? That distortion is made by, it's called false vocal fold distortion. So the false vocal folds are coming together and vibrating. They sit above the true vocal folds. Look what I got right there. Look at that. So here's your vocal folds. If you were to look on a camera straight down, like if you were to just peer down, like if you could look at the back and just look down, you would basically see this. And these tissues right here. Oh, wait. Am I on the right? Oh, yeah. Right here. These are the false vocal folds. And so that's what they look like above the vocal folds. Those are the vocal folds, false vocal folds above the vocal folds. And then what happens there is they actually come together and approximate, and they start touching. Oh, what am I doing? Here's the false vocal folds. So they're making that tone, that dirtiness. That would be distortion. I would actually recommend that in the theme of the grandpa voice that you practice with grandpa voice. It's a very good way to get your feet wet with some distortion. Because in grandpa voice, the false vocal folds are extremely approximated. So I would say that's a good place to get started, is just learn how to approximate the false folds. Can you do a silent breath? Can you do a laborious breath? Then do more. Distortion. That's how I would get started. Okay. Hi, Greg. Can I ask what pitch or note should I transition to a mix? Think about it like not a specific note. Think about it like you can control it more or less on any note. Okay, that you can control the thinness to thickness of your voice on any note ace. You could do like, hey, or you could do, hey, right? You could do soft, and then that's going to be more of a mix. And think about getting that kind of level of control in your voice across different pitches. So then it becomes a choice. What am I trying to express right now? You know, I met you in the dark. You lift me up. You made me feel as though I was enough. If I want this kind of softness, then that's great, right? I maybe want it to go more into a mix. If I want something loud, you know, like shit. Fuck, what's that? I forget the chords to that. I guess just take that song again. I met you in the dark. You lift me up. You made me feel as though I was enough. Heavier and louder, right? That is, you could think of it like you're trying to mix less when you do that. So look at it as something you control on every note. Singing straw and water. That doesn't seem like a question. How should mixed voice feel? Man, hard to answer. I'm gonna dodge that question. I'm sorry. Big question. Damn it, I can't help myself. It should feel. Maybe this is gonna be kind of subjective, but maybe some of the things you're gonna do is that you'll feel your voice enter your head. So if you go like at a low note, and you go it's gonna feel kind of like the voice goes up there, but it doesn't let go here. Instead, you'll feel the pitch almost feels like it raises, the sensation moves up. But I don't feel like I disengaged and went, let go. So it's kind of like doing the bottom thing, but being able to do it high, and then your sense of vibration of the note will elevate maybe into your head. That's something you might feel. Very common. Okay, am I almost to the questions? I feel like I'm not. How long does it generally take to learn distortion? How long did it take you to get really good at it? In a range where you can control your voice already. Let's say you can control your voice up to G4, really, really good. If then you try to learn distortion, I don't know, maybe like 2 months. Not that long, especially when it depends. Are you working with a coach, or are you trying to do it by yourself? If you're trying to do it by yourself, everything takes longer. If you're working with a good coach, you know, it should be much faster. And I don't think it should take that long. When I explore different vocal effects, you know, it doesn't take me that long. Like a new one I've been working on is like, let me try to find it real quick. Hey! That's one of the new effects I've been trying to find. Hey! There we go. Hey! Hey! It's kind of rolliness to the tone. I guess I'm losing it a little bit there, but okay. So that I've been working on, and you know, that's taken me, I don't know, a couple practice sessions to get, you know. But I have a lot of experience with vocal effects, so when I do something, usually I make pretty quick progress because I have a lot of experience. So I don't know, a couple months. That's my estimate, my guess. Singing through a straw into water, any experience or opinions, especially regarding reducing effort in higher M1 singing, past A4 in a male? Well, it's going to for sure make you thin. So if you have a straw, I have a straw right here. Past A4. It's going to be very thin. So you're really training your voice to do something, a thin coordination. Vocal folds are very stretched. You're training a mix. So I think it can be very helpful for developing that, and especially for alleviating tension and strain if you feel that your voice is just as a good exercise to do, something to play around with. You know, I'm all for look into all the options you've got, try a bunch of different things. So I feel that it can work. Definitely not what you want to do to develop loud singing, in my opinion. So I'd like to hear some lesson with a girl next time. Would be nice. Cool. I want to do a video with my girlfriend because she sings and I help her to get better. So that would be cool to do a video with her too. But yeah, you're right. I don't think I've ever done a live stream with a girl. Maybe next time I'll be like girls only. That's what we're gonna do. Gotta get some equity up in here. Hey Greg, how do I improve my mix voice a little further than it is now? My mix is pretty much. How long have I been doing this? I feel like I just did 15 more minutes. I think I did. I gotta go, guys. I'm never gonna close the gap in these questions. Hey Greg, how do I improve my mix a little further than it is now? My mix is pretty much on the heady side, but I want a bit more chest in it. So what tips can you give to help me achieve that? Train your belting, man. Train your belting. Learn how to belt. Get the chestiness and the thickness on a belt. It is much easier. I promise you. Learn how to coordinate a belt. Then try to refine that into a mix. If you can do... oh! Hey! Then if you're able to do that, you're going to be able to build some more power in your mix because you're already going to have the experience of being able to just, first of all, just take the weight and the power up there. Then refining that into more of a thick mix. That's going to be more easy to do than trying to start light. Hey! Hey! And build power on that. That's difficult. And so that would be my tip for you. And then what you would want to do is you'd want to shape the vowels of your mix to be like your belting, right? So if we have an E, we won't want E. We want that E to look like an A. A! E! E! Right? So I'm opening the E up a bit more to resemble the A. A! E! E! Yeah? So definitely possible to get it better than that, and I'm just tired. How to sing like Brendan Urie right now. Video is never coming out. Haha, Jet. Jet, where you been? Why is that your only comment on this video? By the way, guys, again, like this if you haven't liked the video to help me out. What do I have to do if I have a shaky mix voice? That sounds like probably a support issue, with a breath support issue where you would need to work on controlling your breath, managing your breath, keeping that very steady, being able to slowly, I guess I would want to know, is the mix shaky in all contexts? Is the mix shaky at the beginning of the breath? That's not enough information for me to help. It's just shooting in the dark, basically. Is this the reason why tenors, if you will have such an easy time, usually just because the chords are lighter, so mixing is easier to find? I have very unpopular opinions about voice type that I do not wish to get into right now. But let's suffice it to say that tenor is a skill. Tenor is a job that you can do. You must meet this certain job. It's like a plumber, an engineer. There's certain skill sets that you need, right? So tenors need to be able to sing high, and they need to have a certain tone when they do so. If you're able to do that, typically most tenors, especially people that find high notes intuitively, they understand how to let their vocal folds stretch for the higher notes. They understand how to sing thinner, and that comes more intuitive to them. So usually that's what a tenor is. Somebody that has an easier, more intuitive time with higher notes, and typically they allow the vocal folds to stretch more. And so they sound like higher tenors because they found those coordinations intuitive and have really developed a fine control over them. But it's something that, in my opinion, everybody can do. I'm not going to get into voice type too much today and argue about that. Try to use Thank you for answering my question, Greg. May I ask your range before you ever learn doing a mix? Like E flat, D4, E flat, E. One time, I was at night when I was learning to scream, I was like, learning to sing, I was like, man, why can't I sing above E? And I was like, what if I just scream into this pillow? Could I do it? And I screamed into the pillow and I got a C5, and my throat was really hurting after that. So basically I couldn't go above E flat, and I never did that again after that because it was very uncomfortable. But yeah, I basically couldn't go above E flat. I just routinely cracked. Yeah, I could probably push it more, but to be honest, like E flat was already getting pretty uncomfortable, and I was starting to lose complete control over my voice at that range. And that's E flat. Just for reference, I can talk on that note now. All right, I'm extra, I know. How to sing closed vowels. You guys love the doggos. Great. I'm glad you guys like the dogs. Okay, this is the last question. How to sing closed vowels. I'm assuming you mean how to sing closed vowels up high. But the reason why you can't do that is because closed vowels trigger more vocal fold stretching. Closed vowels trigger more vocal fold stretching. That's my opinion. Closed vowels trigger more vocal fold stretching. And in other words, closed vowels in the high range trigger mixed voice. That's why you can't sing closed vowels. So how to sing them? Develop your voice. Develop and coordinate your voice. Learn how to go higher and hold on, and use some different techniques. We did the creaking one today, for example. It was all really just one kind of main thing that we focused on, and it worked really, really well. Grab hold of something. Get in touch with what vocal fold closure and support feels like, and learn to like try to maintain that and dig into that as you close the vowel. Okay. Greg, what you mentioned is pretty much what Daniel said as well. As we ascend on the scale for the E's and the U's, it closes on the passaggio and opens back up after that. Yes. That's not my definition of closing. My definition of closing is very specific. It would be closed timbre. But I physiologically, that would be yes, that would be correct. It never really opens back up after the passaggio in the acoustic sense of open and closed. Acoustically, we're talking about harmonics and formants and harmonics and their interaction, right? So when a harmonic is raising past the formant, we hear that as a closing. So here's all my harmonics, right? Every pitch has a set of harmonics. It has like multiple notes. It's like a pancake of notes. Proof? Okay, I'll give you proof. You guys hear those tones changing, but the bass tone, the fundamental frequency, never changes. So those overtones are changing. And when those overtones basically pass a formant, we hear that as a closing, right? And when those overtones drop below the formant, then we hear that as an opening. So that would be like right? There's a bunch of overtones. There's more than 4, but I just have 4 fingers on this hand. So that's the idea there. And if you close into the passaggio, that's to avoid yell timbre, basically. That's to avoid this F1 H2 tuning, where this happens. So now I'm elevating the formant alongside the harmonic simultaneously. This is how we belt. If you don't let that happen, now I've gone into closed timbre. And then what I want to do is I want to continue opening after that point. Physiologically opening my mouth, because I don't want to go. It's not going to work if I try to stay too close. So I understand what you're meaning. That's more of a physiological thing. That's not typically what I mean when I say closing and opening. I'm talking about vowel qualities and acoustic qualities, and I have a very specific definition. Your teeth smile. Body language remind me of Augustus Waters from The Fault in Our Stars. Well, he's cute, but I don't think that he has an open bite. I can't close the teeth there. Hey, Greg, I really like your channel. You give the best tips. Thanks, Pedro. Do you have any tips for singing a song, but in a low volume version? I think I do well in low notes, but should I belt? But what should a belt become in low volume? A thinner sound, basically. You're changing the closure of the vocal folds. The pressure becomes reduced. It becomes lighter, thinner, headier. A burp. Very light if you keep the volume down. Very nice for things like say something pretty like you used to do. Should become something like that when you train it well and you get control. Is head mix basically just directly deleting some chest voice? Yes. If we think of chest voice as it's all spectrum. It's all spectrum, guys. It's a spectrum. If we think of chest voice as the vocal folds doing this when they vibrate. Coming. God, I look like I'm freaking crazy. If the vocal folds are staying together long when they vibrate. They're staying together longer, and they're closing quickly in the cycle. That's going to introduce a very rich tone. Right? Very chesty sounding. If we minimize that by adjusting the vocal fold closure, then we're going to get it thinner. And in that sense, we're deleting chestiness. But in this sense of the word, chestiness is linked, maybe it's an auditory quality. If we delete chestiness in terms of the richness of how buzzy and full that is. Yeah, thinning it more is deleting that quality, but it's also going from this staying together longer, closing rapidly after opening, to the vocal folds not staying together as long when they vibrate. Maybe a bit more like this. Does that make sense? They're not closing very rapidly. It's like you're going towards that. Compared to right? So yeah, that's that spectrum there. All right, guys. I gotta go. I gotta recover. Thankfully, I have tomorrow off. Do I have tomorrow off? Do I have tomorrow off? Am I teaching anybody tomorrow? I think I have tomorrow off. I think that's going to be good for me. I can do some vocal rest. Yeah, I got the next 2 days off, so I'm going to take some nice vocal rest, try to recover. And yeah. All right, guys. If you like the video, like it. Like the video. Double like the video. Triple like the video. All right? Log into a different YouTube account. Make an account right now. Make 5 different accounts just to like the video. All right. Ace says, do I understand this correctly? That when you come from a falsetto and you want it to have a chesty sound, do you add more contraction to your throat vocal cords? Yes. Yes. The vocal folds need to start resisting higher pressure of air, and we're trying to change their closure. Yes. The way that changes, you're not going to have as much tension in the muscles when you're not putting high pressure. If you have light pressure, you're not going to be able to squeeze the vocal folds. You can't just isometrically contract them. You have to, there's a game where they contract alongside, like it's a balance between the pressure. The pressure is created, the air pressure is created by the interaction between the vocal folds and your attempts to exhale, basically. Man, see, I'm getting into it. You shouldn't ask me that question. You see, I have poor impulse control. You knew it, didn't you? You knew it, Ace. If you asked me that question, then I would have to answer you. You need to get that vocal fold tension, to change the closure, to increase the closure, demands that the breath pressure increase simultaneously, basically. So, yes, you need more tension in the vocal folds. And maybe that will feel something here. Maybe it won't. You also are going to really feel it in the support. You're going to feel it when you generate that pressure in your abdomen, in your back muscles, in the solar plexus area, the chest muscles maybe, the butt maybe, all sorts of things. All right, guys. You're very welcome. I will see y'all in the future. All right. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.